Hello, and welcome to On Time, On Budget, a podcast series about the art and practice of project management. I'm John Shoemaker, and I'll be your host. Over the years, I've worked as a project manager, corporate trainer, and professor, helping organizations and individuals bring their projects to life. I've also written a book called On Time, On Budget, which this series is based on. My goal with these short podcasts is to share practical insights that will help you manage projects more effectively, whether you're new to the field or already experienced. In this series of podcasts, we are examining the contents of the project charter. Assumptions are one of the issues that must be addressed in this document. Many people confuse assumptions with risks. That confusion is understandable because assumptions can introduce risk, but not every risk is an assumption. The difference becomes clearer once we define what an assumption really is. A dictionary defines an assumption as something accepted as true without proof. The PMBOK guide says essentially the same thing. An assumption is a factor we treat as real or certain during planning, even though we don't have proof. And here's the key point. Project teams never have perfect information. If we waited until every uncertainty was resolved, no project would ever begin. Assumptions are what allow planning to move forward despite incomplete knowledge. But not everything we casually assume qualifies as a project assumption. Valid assumptions must meet two important criteria. First, an assumption must involve something unknowable at the time. That usually means future conditions or situations where verifying the facts simply isn't possible yet. Second, the assumption must be relevant to project success. If it turns out to be false, the project could face serious consequences. Let's look at an example. Imagine a construction project where the manager assumes there will be no weather delays. Because of that assumption, the schedule and budget contain no buffer. Weather forecasts can't reliably predict conditions months in advance, so this assumption deals with something unknowable. And if the assumption is wrong, the project could run late and over budget. That makes it a valid and risky assumption. Now consider a software project manager who assumes the product features will satisfy users. That may be important, but it's not unknowable. Surveys or user testing could provide real data. Since this information can be verified, it doesn't qualify as a true assumption. It's a research gap, not an uncertainty. Unfortunately, assumptions are often left undocumented. That's where trouble begins. Different stakeholders may hold very different beliefs about what is assumed, and those hidden disagreements can derail a project later. This is why the project charter should explicitly list key assumptions. Stakeholders should review them together to ensure alignment. If someone challenges an assumption, the team has an opportunity to rethink the plan before work begins, when changes are far less costly. Sometimes a sponsor may reject an assumption entirely. That's not a failure, it's a valuable conversation. It forces the team to consider alternative strategies and strengthens the foundation of the project. On larger projects, assumptions shouldn't just be written once and forgotten. They should be tracked in an assumptions log, much like risks or issues. Good project managers revisit this log regularly and plan responses in case assumptions prove invalid. The takeaway is simple. Assumptions are unavoidable, but unmanaged assumptions are dangerous. By identifying, documenting, and reviewing them, you reduce surprises and improve decision-making. In our next episode, we'll continue building on these planning fundamentals. Until then, remember, assumptions aren't guesses to ignore. They're critical planning tools that deserve careful attention. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on Time, On Budget. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your team, and drop us a comment in the space below. If you would like a copy of my book, On Time, On Budget, use the QR code on the screen. It will take you to Amazon where you can purchase a copy. Until next time, keep managing smarter, not harder.